Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. Joining us this morning is Rebecca Case from Case Funeral Homes. Thank you so much for being here, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's nice to be back.
I am so glad that you're back. Thank you so much. Today we're talking about some really important information that everyone really needs to know. When a person passes away, Rebecca, how can they ensure that their wishes are carried out?
So this one has a lot of layers to it, but I know most people are going to say, oh, well, I'm going to have my wishes in my will, in my trust, or even prepay for my final services with a funeral home. But the biggest thing is to make sure we have those conversations with our families and our loved ones. Ultimately, with the state of Michigan, the laws are written that your legal next of kin has the right and final say to your final wishes. So they have to sign off on everything. And without having those conversations, and I know that they're tough to do, that can create some kind of conflicts with your final arrangements that we may not necessarily want. So it's very, very important. I can't stress that enough. To make sure you talk with your family and your loved ones and make sure that you're on the same page. Families have different backgrounds now, different faiths, and that affects the grieving process, and we want to make sure everything goes smoothly. And I know everybody wants their family to have the process go smoothly for them as well.
Especially, yes, at that time. Rebecca, let me ask you this. If someone puts their final wishes in writing in a will, do they have to be followed?
So this one, the short answer is no. The long answer is it's very complicated. You can put your wishes in a will, in a trust, prepay, whatever final legal matters you think, but your legal next of kin has the right to contest that. So if they feel with their faith that perhaps the cremation arrangements you wanted is against their belief system, they can contest that and potentially get that changed. There's a lot of work that does go into it, but it can happen, and it does happen. So again, with the communication and working with the families, we can prevent some of these conflicts from coming up. But it is kind of a myth that you put everything in your will, it has to be followed to a T. It's all contestable from your next of kin.
Wow, that is great to know. That's why you say it's so important to talk with your family members. Now, Rebecca, if a family member does not agree with the person's wishes, can they be changed?
Yes, they sure can. So the law in Michigan says we need the majority of our next of kin to sign off on your disposition or your final wishes as far as the funeral service or burial cremation is concerned. So if you have a spouse, the spouse has full 100% say. If you don't have a spouse or you're widowed, your children, the majority of your children have to agree on that. So if there's 5 children, 3 have to be in some sort of agreement for us to go forward with that. And that's also kind of a myth that's out there, that you don't have, your child that's in charge of your PR, your state, can just take care of everything. That's a misnomer. You need that majority. So again, I'm going to harp on the communication with the family, but that's why it's so important. There's lots of layers to the laws in the state of Michigan about this, and the reason is if somebody has a faith difference or just principle belief difference, they have the right to make those changes, and they have to come to an agreement so that the family has essentially compromised or agrees on what to do.
Now, Rebecca, let's say that someone does not have children, they don't have any children, or a next of kin. Who can take care of their final wishes?
Yeah, so this one actually gets pretty murky too. We have to go and follow a bloodline or heirship in the state of Michigan. So there's no children, no grandchildren, no spouse, or we got to look for siblings, nieces and nephews, cousins, and that can be difficult to do in a timely manner. So that makes things, complicated. But the state of Michigan is making great strides and changes to this law. They changed it in 2016 that your personal representative or lawyer or attorney can take action and carry out your final wishes when there's no surviving family member. And then they issued a new term or a new position called a funeral representative. And this person would be in charge of funeral services. And actually, the Senate now is reviewing this bill again to put more timetables and help make this process a bit more streamlined for people of Michigan.
Now, Rebecca, you spoke about a funeral representative. Tell us a little bit about what does a funeral representative do?
So a funeral representative is a legal designated person in charge of your final arrangements, your funeral services and disposition. They don't have any bearing on your estate or financial matters, anything pertaining to your will or trust. That's for the attorneys. Let them take care of that. They're well versed in it. But in the event you don't have a legal next of kin, or if you've got, let's say, 5 children and one child lives in the state of Michigan with you and the rest are scattered across the country for jobs and whatnot, as it's very common now, we still need that majority without a funeral representative. So it's quite easy if you're designating a medical power of attorney or someone in charge of your medical affairs, if you're incapacitated, to also follow suit and do that with a funeral representative. So this representative can supersede everybody else. It takes first place in as far as the line of next of kin or a person in charge of your funeral arrangements, and it streamlines the process for you. They can sign off on your wishes, get things taken care of in a very timely manner versus tracking down relatives that may be in several different states, or if you're looking for nieces and nephews, that can be quite a task. So,
yeah, that can really give families a peace of mind, definitely. Anything else that you want to just let viewers know about, a message that you have, anything that you want to get out?
Yeah, I've said several times, but it is so important to have those discussions with your family as far as what happens when I pass, what would you like to do, and then also ask your next of kin, what do you want when I pass? What's going to make you feel like you're grieving and saying goodbye in an appropriate manner for you? We get caught up in saying, oh, I don't want to have anybody hurt when I pass. But the truth of the matter is these people you work with every day in your life, they're going to miss you. Yes. And giving them a way to feel involved or, be able to grieve on a good platform that everybody feels good about really helps making time, like as far as being on hospice or end of life measures. It allows you, when you have those conversations ahead of time, to just focus on family and how you feel as a family and moving forward and being at peace. And it makes everything go so much smoother after the person passes as well. So it's just so important to have those conversations. We have plenty of material at our funeral homes, and so you can stop in and speak with a director, get some forms. The Michigan Funeral Directors Association has a lot of information on their public website. And then, of course, there is the Michigan Legislature website as well. So you can get information from several different angles so that you can talk with your families and make the right decisions for you and put the right protocols in place so that everything happens smoothly.
Yes, it certainly is a difficult topic to talk about, but we want our loved ones' wishes to be honored. Thank you so much.
Not necessarily fun, but it's something you've got to do.
Yeah, thank you for it. We really needed to hear this message today, Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining us. If you would like any more information about today's topic, just head on over to the hot link section at WNEM.com.